Abington Veteran Service and what every veteran should know. This is our 5th annual Gifts for Our Troops Overseas from the town of Abington. I would like to start with our show today with a special guest. We have with us Brian Martin, commander of the Abington VFW Post 5737 in the town of Abington. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Joe.
Really appreciate you coming. Brian, tell me a little about yourself.
I'm a resident of Rockland. I joined the Abington VFW in 1989. Past commander twice. I'm currently the commander. I'm past District 12 commander.
Okay.
I'm currently a state officer as Assistant Sergeant at Arms.
And you served in the United States Navy?
United States Navy back in 1986 in the bombing of Libya.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Brian, I understand that, what's your present job now?
I am currently a correctional officer at Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, and I'm also Sergeant at Arms for their Honor Guard.
Oh, great. Yes, I know I've used you a couple of times, and you guys are really, really sharp, Brian. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate helping.
Just to let the audience know that the color guard from the correctional that Brian is on has helped us in the town, honoring veterans. Really great bunch of people. Brian, your special project is the Wounded Warrior Program. Please tell us about it.
The Wounded Warrior Program started back after the terrorist bombings in 2011 on the World Trade Center. And what it is, with the injuries that occurred on the battlefield now, and with the advancement of battlefield medicine and the body armor, there are more warriors being wounded and coming home compared to the other wars. So they had to find a way to help these warriors out. And the Wounded Warrior Project does that. They help them physically and mentally. It's a great program. It's a state commander's program, and that's why we got onto it.
Now, didn't this start with the Walter Reed Hospital? Most of all our guys are getting hurt and gals getting hurt over there were in the Humvees getting blown up. A lot of them were brain damage, TBI. A lot of them lost their limbs and stuff like that, and they were sent to Walter Reed, and some of them were staying there 2-3 years at a time, and have long recoveries. And didn't this kind of
Yes.
move in with us?
Right. It's, 2-3 years is too long of a time to keep somebody incapacitated is
Right.
what they were doing. And this program now, they're there to help the wounded. When they come home from overseas, from Germany, where they were, their first medical attention is served, they come back home and they're immediately being reached out to by the program.
Okay, and now some of the parts of the program, where does this money go? I mean, does it help the soldier himself? Does it help with the family coming and visit them?
The soldier himself, your prosthetics, things like that. Your prosthetics, your mental, psychiatric help.
Right.
All aspects of the soldier himself.
So is this where the, how am I going to say this, where the military ends their care and that the VA ends their care and then the Wounded Warrior? That's where I'm getting a little confused.
No, the Wounded Warrior assists with the soldiers.
Okay.
It's not that the care has ended, but they're there to assist to make sure this care is being...
Okay, good. Okay, now I understand a little more now.
Right.
Right. Now, say we get a soldier and he or she gets hurt, and now they're having a long-term care at the Walter Reed or one of the major hospitals. Would the Wounded Warrior Program, would that help any of their families to come and visit them? Does the program assist in any of that, Brian?
I had met a woman at our Officer Training Institute, which is the rep from this area, which I could get further information on that
Sure.
through her. She has given me her business card. I believe they did help her. I cannot say it positively,
Sure.
but I believe that is part of the program.
Okay, it's a great program. We get it, I get information on it every day. It comes through my office. I've known a lot of our men and women from the town of Abington who have come back injured, and we're into the program, and they just believe in it, and it's a great program. I think it's great. I mean,
Right.
When our audience, or the townspeople, when they need any more information about it, where would they go? Where would they?
But you can Google Wounded Warrior Project, and that will give you the national site. And you could also contact the Veterans of Foreign Wars at the State House, Department of Massachusetts, or contact the Abington VFW.
Right.
And myself, I frequent there, checking in on things, and that's, the information is there.
Okay, to get more information on it.
Right.
Now, I know you've done a couple of fundraisers.
Yes, we did a motorcycle run on the 10th anniversary, September 11th, and we were able to raise $2,000 to donate to the Wounded Warrior. And one of the impressive things that happened that day was I was talking to a gentleman who just got done with the ride, and he asked me about the program, and I talked with him, and then he reached out and said thank you because he was part of the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah.
So it was nice,
Yeah. I want to thank you for my invitation. I was there, and you guys done a great job. The little ceremony that was there, done afterwards, it was great. And I mean, I was amazed to see those motorcycles coming in. My head was going just like this.
It's a beautiful sight when
Yeah.
you know what
When you see them come
the
in.
proceeds are going to.
Yeah.
So it was very good.
So Brian, how's everything going with the Abington VFW? As your membership, what is let me ask a question while I get you here. The VFW, it's Veterans of Foreign Wars. I know they've been for many years. You got, what, 1.2 million
Yes.
somewhere in that thing. What does the VFW do? What does the VFW do, say, maybe national, state, and maybe post-wise? What does it get to offer to a young man coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan?
Well, there's a lot to offer to the community and for returning veterans. We do have the resources for a veteran returning home from overseas. We have the resources to help them to go through like
Right.
we would introduce them to you, the veterans
The
service.
benefits, right.
So we can assist in returning veterans. And it is a place for camaraderie. These are the gentlemen that have been through, I wouldn't say the same battles, but they all fought for our country together.
We all had the same thing, that we were all
Right.
right together.
It's a family,
Right.
and we can offer that. So-
I know in your national part, I know matter of fact, the national commander, Richard Denoy,
Yes.
he is from Massachusetts this year.
Yes.
And he's a Vietnam vet, disabled Vietnam vet, like my producer, Billy McDonald. I know that the VFW does a lot in pushing for benefits. I know right now that Commander Denoy is pushing Congress about not cutting the benefits for the veterans.
Yes.
I know they're right out there strong. But that's part of the thing.
Yes.
I mean, they work for our benefits, and they're strong supporters.
We're actually in March. Commander Denoya has invited me to go down to Washington, D.C. We have a legislative conference, and he appointed me on a National Veterans Military Services Committee.
Oh, great.
So I'm
Great.
the vice chairman.
Well,
So in March, we're going down there, and that's when we meet our legislators from your area
Right.
and discuss your concerns with where the government is going
and
for
as
our
you-
veterans.
And as you know, I'm military retired. You tell them to keep their hands off of my money.
Yes.
All right.
Leave your health benefits alone also.
Right. Our TRICARE and the TRICARE for Life, they've been picking on it. And like I say, I know the VFW has been a strong leader, as the American Legion and the disabled vets, and, and all those good outfits. Brian, is there anything you'd like to say to our audience on this Wounded Warrior program?
On the Wounded Warrior Project, we are, at the Abington VFW, we're going to have sponsors, and the gold sponsors and the regular sponsorship. If you'd like to stop down 30 Central Street, Abington VFW, after the first of the year, we are starting a fundraiser. And come on into our members lounge and sponsor the program. And we're gonna display them as they do in stores. You know, you pay the sponsorship, put it on the wall.
All right,
So-
great. Brian, I want to thank you very much for being on my program.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Joe.
All
Thank
right,
you.
and keep up the good work. I know you guys do a lot of work in the community, and God bless you all.
Well, thank you. God bless you.
Welcome. Right now, we have with us as my special guest, Marilyn Tower. Marilyn Tower is the president of the Abington American Legion, Post 112. The reason I asked Marilyn, welcome, Marilyn.
Thank you, Joe.
Marilyn and I have been friends for a long, long time, and I cherish her friendship. But also, Marilyn, the reason I asked you to come on is because I want to thank you personally, and the Ladies Auxiliary especially, for what you have done for my office, the Abington Veteran Services, for the last 15 years since I've been a veterans agent. I can remember the first year that I was on, and it came around the holidays, and you and the president at that time, I think, was Melody Olson, and asked if there was a veteran, you guys had just done a fundraiser, and asked if there was a veteran in need that you'd like to help. That time you talked about maybe paying somebody's fuel bill. And I explained to you that mostly the needy veterans under Mass General Chapter 1 are able to take them, but there is sometimes an extra need that they're just above the income that, you know, I can't help them under Chapter 115, and that's where you guys come in. But for the last 15 years, you've been a great, great help. You've given the veterans in this town here that are in need the dignity. They're able to now, when it comes Christmas time, with that gift certificate, to go and buy their Christmas dinner. And you'd be surprised what that is, Marilyn. That is it's just great. And that's what I want to thank you for. And I want to probably thank you for the last 15 years. The Abington Ladies Auxiliary Post American Legion Post 112 have been awesome, awesome, awesome. And I don't want to linger on to it, but anytime I've asked you guys for a fundraiser that I was doing, you was right there at the top. But, Marilyn, tell me a little about the Ladies Auxiliary.
Our unit, we have about 87 members, and we probably have 12 to 15 active members.
Okay.
We try to raise money at least once a year. We have our penny sale, and that enables us to provide scholarships for Abington High School seniors and other seniors in surrounding communities. We also support the VA Hospital in Brockton, their Christmas gift workshop. We have donated on behalf of Nick Malafronte when he was injured.
Yes,
We
yes.
supported we matched actually the police with their donation that they made through the
Great.
basketball fundraiser. And at other times, we've supported youth soccer and classes that are looking to go on field trips
Right.
and need extra help with that.
Good, but that's great, Marilyn. Like I say again, I mean, these ladies have been awesome to me, and I know you do a lot in the community, and there's probably a lot more that you do. And I know you work with the men, the members of the post itself, and you help them in their endeavors. You know? Marilyn, say my wife, I'm a veteran myself, and she would like to join the Ladies Auxiliary. What would she have to do?
We, actually, you need to be mother, grandmother, wife, sister, granddaughter, great-granddaughter of a veteran who qualifies to join the American Legion.
Okay,
And we would just need a copy of the DD 214 and an application filled out.
okay,
Our membership is $15 a year.
okay. I know they can call my office and I can get a hold of you, but is there a telephone number that they can use or an email that they can call, send to you? And
Contact us through the post at 781-878-3028.
okay, very good. And again, Marilyn, and as you know, we're doing the troops today. We're doing their packages and send them, and you guys have donated there too. Again, I really wanted this to come on to tell the audience about the great work that the Ladies Auxiliary do, Abington American Ladies do, and to thank you again.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience and to the veterans and to the soldiers that are overseas?
Well, we thank the veterans and all the active members of our armed forces for all they do for us, and just wish them all happy holidays.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, welcome back. At this time here, I'd like to introduce a very good friend of mine, Lieutenant Commander Tony O'Brien. Tony is a friend of mine. He's a former SEAL, Navy SEAL, and we're going to be asking Tony some questions. Tony,
Nice.
welcome and thank you for being on my show.
Good to see you, Joe. Thanks for all you're doing in the town and outside the town.
Well, we try the best we can.
Yes, you
You
do.
know, we're like yourself too. I know that you're very active with
Mm-hmm.
the veterans. Tony, tell us a little about yourself. First, about your military.
Well, I retired as a Navy SEAL about 8 years ago. I actually did almost 21 years. Started in the Marine Corps. My dad was in the Marines. My
Yeah, I
dad's
heard that. Yeah.
a Korean War veteran in the Marines. He was an aviation ordnanceman on the runways in Korea when they were mixing napalm and doing all the bombings and the racks right there on the runway. No gloves, no masks, no OSHA rules. And he's still in great shape, 77 years old, and my best friend. And glad that he's still around and doing well. And we grew up in Brockton. And then I went into the service. I graduated from Cardinal Spellman High School. And then went into the service and started in the Marines because my dad was in the Marines.
Right.
And after about 6 or 7 years in the Marines, I was actually getting out. And however, I had worked with the SEALs, and I liked what they were doing. And at the time, this is in the late 80s, they were hurting for personnel.
Sure.
And so they put out a shout for people to apply to the program. And I was thinking about getting out of the Marines and heading home, but I applied to the SEALs and got accepted. And I really didn't have anything lined up when I came home, so I said, you know, I'll go try it out and see what happens. And spent 13 years in the SEALs. Went to BUDS training, which is the basic underwater demolition SEAL training, to become a SEAL. And then graduated a course and spent 13 years in the SEALs, mostly with SEAL Team 5. And of course, the SEALs have been getting a lot of press lately.
Right.
Of course, now it's the holiday season here in 2011, and it's been an interesting year for the SEALs. We were involved in the Bin Laden operation, obviously in Pakistan in May, and then of course we had a pretty horrific day in August with the helicopter crash where we got hit by
yeah. Wow, that was a shame. too.
terrible, hit by the rocket. So as you know, Joe, being a guy that's been in the service for a long time yourself, you take the good with the bad. And
Right.
the Bin Laden raid was a great
I was
operation.
going to ask you about that. Tell us a little about that. I'm sure that the audience would like to know a little about how did that happen. I mean,
Sure.
how much training went into it? Who gave the order, and a little something like that.
I actually don't have a lot of. I don't have any inside information on it. So
Okay.
anything I tell you
Yeah,
is my guess.
Okay.
Because as you know, and being as experienced as you were in the military too, a lot of the information that involved in these things is classified.
Right, okay.
I don't know any classified information because I don't know anything more than is in the press and has been with
Wow,
the public.
okay.
So I'm comfortable telling you that so that no one thinks, well, O'Brien's talking about classified information,
No.
which we can't do,
Yeah,
and which
sure.
you can't do either. But certainly when it does appear that the CIA and some national agencies were had an eye on possible locations for bin Laden over the last few years, which you would hope they would because of our relationships with so many countries and as well as much money as the taxpayers are spending on these efforts. Hopefully they'd have a beat on the guy. As well, my guess is that one of the number one ways that we found his location is somebody ratted him out. Somebody local tipped off our people to keep an eye on this location because he might be there. Wow. And my guess too is that and obviously it was a very fortified home in the neighborhood, which is a little suspicious by itself. But my guess is that he had a security force there of probably a half dozen folks, and My guess is that, and this was on the 1st or 2nd of May when they did the
Right.
raid, my guess is sometime in April, maybe the second half in April, the security force went from 6 to 8 to like 2 or 3. And I'll bet they had a surveillance guy that was watching the place and phoned back to Washington, which he probably did on a daily or 2 or 3 times a day basis, which is how these things often happen, and said, hey, the security's really been reduced. And I'm sure Washington said, nah, okay, keep an eye on it, let us know. And I'm sure 8 hours later, in that type of scenario, he would have called back and on schedule and said, yeah, the security's still low. And after a few of those routine calls coming in on scheduled times, then somebody in Washington might have said, this might be our best chance. Security's normally 8, it's now down to 2. Holy cow, we'll never get a better chance than this. Let's see who's in the area. And so then they call around to the forces in the area. And of course, you've got Marines, Navy, Army, Special Forces folks, all of which could have done this mission. Obviously, we're the Navy SEALs, and we focus on maritime special operations, which is near the water. This operation wasn't near the water. That makes me think that at that time, during that week, the closest asset to that location was the SEALs, and that the SEALs got the mission, not because the SEALs are any more special than the Army Special Operations or the Marine Special Operations, because in my opinion, we're not.
Air Force Special
Absolutely. Worked with the CCT guys quite a bit, and they're all very, very good. I don't get into the game of, and you know how it is with the
Right,
services.
right.
There's a healthy inter-service rivalry. Well, we're better than you, and you're better than... I don't get into that game, and I know you don't either.
Sure.
And my guess is the SEALs got the mission because they were the closest and were able to get there a day or two early, not on the site, but away from the site, and get briefed on how they were going to do it. And obviously they had fixed-wing planes and then helicopters going in. And of course, it was a very interesting operation, and it's amazing how much of the details came out on that thing as quickly as it did. And fortunately, it was very successful.
Tony, when did you get commissioned?
I was commissioned in 1981 in the Marine Corps.
Oh, you was commissioned in the Marine Corps.
I went to Marine Corps OCS, which of course is OCS is famously known as the 10-week wonder.
Right,
course, where you go from a civilian to a butter bar, second lieutenant in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
You know nothing. All of a sudden, you're supposed to know everything, and you still know nothing.
Yeah.
And that's when you rely on your good platoon sergeants, your sergeants, and your
glad you
staff
said
sergeants.
that, yeah.
Oh yeah. And I got to tell you, Joe, and I don't think you'll be surprised by this. I hope, being a good friend. But one of the greatest compliments I ever received. Of course, I retired as lieutenant commander, which is the equivalent of a major in the other services, the Army and the Marines and the Air Force. But one of the greatest compliments I ever get is when I'm talking to folks in civilian clothing about the service and how a lot of veterans think that I was an enlisted guy.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, that's really a compliment to me. One of the greatest gifts I got when I was in the Marines and ever in my life was when I left the Marines. My drill instructors at Parris Island, where I was working at the time, training recruits to join the Marine Corps. I got a staff NCO sword from my Marine Corps drill instructors, and just I mean, the enlisted folks are the backbone of the service. And being an officer, you're the manager, and you in certain units like infantry, you can be more hands-on. In a lot, you can't. It was a great trip for me, and I joined the Marine Corps in 1981. Did almost 21 years.
I believe in the NCO Corps. As you know, I retired as a Master Sergeant E8. We could go back, I'll just go back to World War II. The NCO Corps was there, Korea, and we lost it during the Vietnam War. For some reason, as we know, it was a political war. I get a lot of grief when I talk about this, but I know firsthand a lot of the stuff here. But anyways, we lost the NCO Corps during the Vietnam War. It was a long war, a political war, and the officers tried to run the war and let the NCOs go by the drain. Right after Vietnam, we started to get the NCO Corps.
Yep.
We got the NCO Creed to come out. And now I can say now, after Vietnam, is that the NCO Corps is back on. I believe in the NCO Corps. And if you talk to any officer, especially if you talk, my son's a graduate of Knowledge University. And
Great school.
Right, he's a captain now, and he says, Dad, he said, when I was in Iraq and when I was in Afghanistan, he said, I believe my NCOs, I let them run the war.
Absolutely.
he said that's the way it is, and I believe in it. Thing. Tony, tell me, what do you think about this war over there? In just a few, we don't want to get too much into the political. What do you think
Absolutely.
we should be doing now?
And let me just make one more comment about the NCO issue. I got to tell you, Joe, I mean, I retired as an officer, mid-grade officer, a lot of responsibilities over the years, but I got to tell you that my NCOs made me the success that I was. I stand on their shoulders, and I owe my success, and not just my success, my life. I've got 3 combat tours to the guys that were in my units with me, and I was at the platoon level and the tactical level for most of my career. But I just had to add that because I know your heart and your love is with your NCO Corps, and they are the backbone of the military. No question about it, hands down. And any officer that says or feels differently is just foolish.
Yeah,
It's just not true.
Well, my Joey, when he'd done his second tour to Afghanistan, he'd come off the plane, and in fact, he's going to get into it too far, but when they come off the plane, he was one of the last 3 to come off, and when he came off the plane, he come off, his first sergeant and his command sergeant major, and the 3 of them walked off together. He turned, and he was in the middle, and the 2 of them, and the first sergeant and his command sergeant major turned around, looked at him, and the 3 gave a hug.
Nice.
So you can tell
Yeah.
what my son believed in, and because my dad is the NCO Corps. So I believe in it. I believe in it.
And that feeling that you get there, one of my greatest successes in my career was from my combat tours was bringing all my guys home.
Right.
Because
And that's what he said.
when you lose somebody over there, it's tough. And I've no other units that had that problem, but we were lucky, we were blessed, and we brought everybody home alive. And there's no greater joy. I mean, obviously, except for my newborn son.
Yeah.
But other than that, when you have a military career of any length, and you go to a combat tour and bring all you guys home alive, that's the best.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he never likes me to talk about his service over there, but
That's
I know
all right.
that he was with the Vermont National Guards, and they did lose some soldiers, and God bless them all.
Yeah,
So tell me,
definitely.
what do you think that we should do now?
Well, I think that right now it looks like we're doing well in Iraq, and sustaining in Afghanistan as well. Those are the 2 big theaters. We just had what appears to be a very good success in Libya as well, and what kind of support we gave them is fairly questionable. But in the Middle East, in Iraq and Afghanistan, the president, of course, is going in the direction of pulling folks out early. And some say we should have pulled them out already. Some say that they're not ready for us to pull out. I'm a little less concerned about Afghanistan because I think that the Taliban, our effort against the Taliban has been very good in Afghanistan. In Iraq, I'm concerned. And the reason I'm concerned, and it really goes to the question of should we have gone there in the first place.
Yeah.
Because my concern is that, and I worked very closely with the Iraqis, and the Iraqis were a very weak military under Saddam. Saddam almost had them kind of like a paper tiger in the Middle East and made it seem like they were a bigger and larger and stronger force than they are. And they're still pretty weak. And my concern is if we pull out of Iraq, then are they going to be able to defend themselves? I believe that they're that weak. And a lot of the military guys, of course, they can't say publicly that what I just said, which is, look, we're trying to train them, but these guys are not, they are not military oriented, they are not police oriented, they're not safety and security folks. It's just not their nature. That's not a criticism, that's just an observation and a fact. So my biggest concern is they're going to be able to defend themselves, and if they can't, what is Iran going to do? Is Iran going to invade and try to take Iraq? For probably no other reason than their tremendous oil reserves that they have to tip the balance of the world economy. So I'm really cautious about Iraq and what we're doing. I did question going in originally to Iraq.
Sure.
But once you're there, once the commander-in-chief says we're there and the troops are there, we got to support it. But now the problem is how do you get out? I don't have enough information to give you the best detailed plan on the best way to do that. But I have important concerns in Iraq, much more so than Afghanistan.
Tony, tell me, what do you think about the packages that we're going over? This is our 5th year, and what do you think about the town of
It's
Abington?
fabulous. I work very closely with the Whitman Hanson Military Support Group since I'm on the board at the VFW and the past commander there. And we do a similar project with what your group's doing here today, Joe, and congratulations to you and to them.
Yeah.
And having been over recently, I was in Iraq in 2006, only 5 years ago. These types of efforts are so tremendously appreciated by the troops. And the sad part is, and I know as a guy that nobody fights harder than Joe Colantoni for veterans recognition and benefits, and not just recognition and benefits for veterans, but also while we're still in the service. Right. And it's kind of sad that the kind of things that you guys are packing up here, which aren't just goodies, the goodies you love,
right.
but even stuff like basic toiletries, etc. A lot of the guys don't have this type of stuff,
right.
and they need it. And that's a little bit of a sad situation too. But hats off and my heartfelt thanks to you folks that are putting together these packages for the troops. And if anybody else in town and in the area can provide any support, I know that you would. All they got to do is get a hold of you.
That's right. Yeah, well, we tried, and like I said, this is our 5th year, and thanks to Liz Shea and Nancy Hurst.
Yep.
If it wasn't for them, I would have never been able to do it.
You do a great
God bless
job.
them, you know. Tony, we talked a little about just before that I'd like to put a show on in the future, probably after the first of the year, having some military retirees. And we'll talk a little about the veterans benefits, retirees pay, some of the stuff that we were promised over the years, and spend now 20 years in the military, go off and fight wars. Some of them, in 20 years, I've done 3 wars. I mean, we know guys with World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, because there were only 5 years of difference. A lot of people don't realize. If you got into the 45, say, and you were shipped off during World War II, well, 5 years later, we were in Korea.
Yeah.
And 5 years later after that, we were in Vietnam.
Yep.
So a lot of the guys that went to Vietnam were 3-time servicemen. So I'd like to get some of those people in and
That'd be great.
and have a conversation there.
I know some guys that would love to join you if you want to do it with more than one, or
We'll do more than one.
a series of them.
We'll do a round
I think it'd be
table.
great. That'd be
We'll do a
super.
round table.
And I know a couple big issues that I'm always working on and lobbying our federal officials for, and I know you do too, is of course concurrent receipt.
Right.
Retirees that earn their retirement, and by the way, it's not a very large retirement.
Right.
You and I also know a lot of local, state, and federal folks, and the retirements that they get, they didn't go overseas, they
Right.
weren't shot at,
Right.
they
And
didn't leave their
and
families.
They double dip and three times dip.
And the military retirements are very modest comparatively. And if you're a military, you can't get your concurrent receipt if you have a disability. And you deserve disability benefits for physical problems. You have some, I have some, other family members of ours have them. And if you're retired, you can't get those benefits as well. And also, a lot of people think, a lot of the reason why this is good, Joe, is, and I know you're a driver of this, is what we got to do is we got to get information out there. Because
Right.
people don't know. For example, people think that once you get out of the military, your health care is free, as you were alluding to.
not.
It's not. And I mean, I think that the VA service is actually very, very good. I think Walter Reed, although there were problems down in Walter Reed, my experience is they are not the norm, that they are the exception. I think a lot of people are surprised by some of the condition of Walter Reed being so close to Washington, D.C. But I don't think that's the norm. Most of the VA facilities that I go to in the Boston area, I get my primary care in West Roxbury now, but I also go and get care at Jamaica Plain and Brockton, are very, very, very good. But we do have to pay copay.
Right.
It's not a huge copay, so
it's not free.
but it's not free. But we do have to pay the copay, and it certainly is less expensive than if we were going through another healthcare service. But just so folks know, you don't get free healthcare after leaving the service. Whether people think that we should or not, we can have that conversation. You and I obviously have our strong feelings about it,
Right.
given the sacrifices that our comrades have made over the years and the decades.
We were promised, when going to the military, you spend your 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, that we would be able to use the VA system, and there would be no charge.
Yep.
And they cut that back, as we all know. But we'll get into it at another subject.
And the VA is
We'll
doing a
talk-
great job. And you and
Yeah.
I and Bill and so many others,
Right.
we visit I was at the VA hospital last night visiting there. We do our monthly and bi-monthly visits with different groups.
Right.
And your heart goes out to those guys. They're in stretchers, they're in wheelchairs. They made great sacrifices. And it's just part of us doing our thing for veterans and reaching out to folks to ask them to support as much as they can too.
Yeah, like Saturday, Billy McDonald, my producer here, the Vietnam vets, the Richard Fitz chapter, we'll do our Christmas annual party there.
Nice.
And we do 2 or 3 a year there, like the VFW does.
Yep, yep.
Tony, what do you want to say to the our boys and our men and women over there in Iraq and Afghanistan? Because most of this, these packages are going to them. What would you like to tell them?
Well, I got to tell you, if there's anybody that wears his uniform as a retiree, almost as much as Joe Colantoni, it would be me. But certainly nobody wears it more prouder than you do. And as a guy that's an assistant to you in this region, trying to get the word out to the veterans and to the folks to continue to support the veterans, we can't thank the troops enough for what's going on over there. There are some controversies, as there always is in all of our campaigns, no matter what they were. I'm a Desert Storm guy. I also served in Kosovo. Those campaigns were controversial too, to some degree. But what it comes down to, and it's so nice that nowadays, compared to the old days, folks are much, much more supportive. We can't thank them enough for that support. But to our troops over there, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Everywhere I go in the South Shore of Massachusetts, and I have a job with the county, and I drive all over this county all week long. Everywhere I go, I hear a lot of appreciation and a lot of patriotism for what we veterans have done, but also for the guys and ladies that are over there now. We can't thank them enough for their service, no matter what uniform they're wearing, and know that we're back here fighting for you now and when you get out. I know you will until your dying breath, and so will I. So thanks to them and thanks to you, Joe.
Tony, I want to thank you so very much.
Yes, sir.
And welcome home.
Thanks, Joe. You too.
Welcome, Town Manager, Mr. John DeAugustine.
The best,
The best.
veteran agent in all of the country. I'm sitting here with Joe, and
I want to thank you so very much for that. He is now called the boss. John, first of all serious aside, I want to thank you for allowing the town employees, especially Liz and Lachey and Nancy Harris, the time off to do the boxes. We've been doing it for 5 years now, and to tell you the truth, John, I would not be able to do it without those two. They spearhead this. They go on their own at night to do the shopping, get the stuff. They do the decorations, and they get the names and stuff like that, but they are the biggest help to me. And as you know, we started off with a high of 47 5 years ago. We're down to 10 packages.
that's a good sign.
That's
a
the
sign.
good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. And let's hope next year we don't have to send any. But if there is a need, I made us one promise to you and into the town, and Nancy and Liz does the same thing, is that we will send that one package if we have to.
Absolutely, and I would support that 100%. I think that it's important that we show to our veterans that are fighting for our freedoms and the freedoms that we enjoy here in this country and throughout the world, that we're not going to back down and we're not going to become a second class, that we're going to do what we can to preserve the freedoms that we enjoy and the freedoms throughout the world. And I think that this is just a small token of our appreciation as a country and as a town to what our veterans and our active soldiers are doing in Afghanistan and in Iraq.
In Kuwait now, because most of your troops that are coming out of Iraq, they got, I think, about 7,500 are going to stay right in Kuwait. And what I was a little upset about, and I shouldn't get into it, it's the politics of the thing, is that when we started getting the names of the troops, and then we heard, then the family started hearing that their sons and daughters were coming home for the holidays, and only to find out afterwards that they were going off to Kuwait. So they weren't coming home.
No.
When you make a statement, whatever your beliefs are, or, I mean, he is our commander-in-chief, and he made a statement that all our troops will be home for the holidays. But yet, on the other hand, saying, well, some of them are going to have to stay, and you got over 7,000. So some families, and there was a couple in the town of Abington that were very disappointed, and I was too myself. expecting that to come home, but they're in Kuwait now. But that's a politics. We get away from that. But anyways, John, I want to, since you've been on the last couple of years, I want to thank you again myself. I seem to be thanking you all the time. Is that anything we do in the town, you gave it 110%.
To our veterans, it's very important that they recognize and that we provide support for them. And I've always, like you and I have talked about, whenever you may not have enough money, I always said to you, Joe, don't worry about it, we'll find it somewhere. And if there's a needy veteran or there is somebody in active duty that we need to support, from the government's perspective, I'm always there and will always commit to you as a veteran agent that we will provide them with the resources that they need to get them back on their feet and support them any way we can.
That means an awful lot, John, to me and for our young men and women coming home. We're very fortunate so far that most of the men and women coming home have some jobs to go to. Mm-hmm. Now with this hire a veteran that's coming on board, and I hope that you're committed to like most of the town governments and federal government and our jobs, that you will think first of hiring a veteran. Oh, sure. As we all know that this is a different war, and I don't like to pit World War II to the now war, but it's a lot more, the war now is a lot more technical. So our men and women coming out of the military now, when I come back from Korea, whoever thought of a computer? I was lucky, a typewriter. I mean, that was something you had to go to school for 16 weeks to do a typewriter. Yeah. But now these men and women that coming back have the technical knowledge, the leadership, and the smarts now because they were trained.
Well, we just hired an IT person,
yes,
a network administrator.
Yeah.
And he is he's a vet.
He's retired Navy, 21 years Navy. Henry.
Yep, Henry DeStoop. Retired Navy person, and there's one hire that certainly we're.
He's a great guy. His office is next to mine, and he's quite a character, and I'm hoping to interview him. Yes, Henry's a great guy, and like I say, you hired a vet, and it was very nice that he's but I understand he's highly experienced too.
Oh, absolutely.
Who knows, maybe someday he might show me how to do a computer.
That would be a miracle. That would be beyond skill. That would be a miracle.
John, I tell you, it's something. But like I say again, John, I mean, you've gone into the schools with me, with junior high school, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, the parade, when we done the memorial, updating the memorial, which we'll be doing it sometime this summer. Yeah. I just need a few more names. We do have the money, so it's not costing the town any money at all at this point here to taking care of that memorial. Yeah. We're still selling bricks, so if you'd like to buy a brick to help support putting the names on our war memorial monument, please let me know.
But Joe, if ever a time came where you needed money for the memorial and you didn't have it, I'd make sure we'd find the money somewhere.
I know you would, John. You're great. I'm telling you, we kid a lot, both of us, but you've always been there for the veterans of the town and for me, and that personally I want to thank you.
I wish we could do more, and it's unfortunately sometimes we look to do something and somebody else pulls it back from us. But we're going to continue to persevere and try to provide for you as a veteran agent, our vets as recipients of your good work, because you do tremendous work on behalf of the veterans that come back. And I'm very proud to be in a community that does not forget its veterans and will not forget those who are overseas fighting for our freedoms. And just one other note is we are going to be erecting a memorial for Jeff Coombs, who was, one of the individuals killed in the World Trade Center tragedy. And this is, I think, what spearheaded our efforts in Iraq and in Afghanistan.
Right, that started the war.
That started the war, and I will never forget where I was that day when the first plane hit the World Trade Center, and I knew that we were, as a country, that we were in trouble that day, but I knew also as a country that we would prevail. And it's because of our young men and women fighting overseas that this country will always be as great as it is today.
I will never forget, matter of fact, Bill McDonough, our producer and cameraman and all the good stuff, we were having coffee and in Brockton, and the TV come on, and we saw it, and we saw, matter of fact, when the second plane came, some guy had walked in the coffee shop. I won't tell you, it was the coffee shop we were in, and we saw that second plane. But anyways, I'll never forget it. It was an awful tragedy. It's,
Innocent lives were taken that day, but it occurred on American soil, and that had a profound effect on me as a as a person, as an American, but certainly when it all culminated in a level of satisfaction when special teams went in and killed Osama bin Laden. It was for me a point in time where I was proud, as I am always, to be an American and to know that justice was given to a despicable human being.
yeah. Also, talking about memorials, as we know that the Vietnam Veterans Group in town, the Staff Sergeant Richard A. Fitz chapter, will be rededicating that square on May 20th at 1 p.m.
As long as somebody doesn't hit it again.
Oh, geez, I hope not.
Wasn't that something?
Oh, and Mike Werner's there, the young fella that's doing it. He had it put together so fast
Yeah.
that we were planning on, doing it, and it was real fast. He done it. He's a great kid.
Good kid.
Great
Good kid,
job. Great
yeah.
job. John, is there anything you'd like to say to the troops over there?
Well, I want you to come home. I think that the less packages we have every year is a good sign. I hope we don't have to send out packages next year. I'd love to have everyone back home. And when you do come back home and you're in Abington, I have an open door policy. I want you to come up, see Joe, stop by, say hello, introduce yourself. I'd love to know who you are that we're sending these packages to every year. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you in the next couple of months.
Again, thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, boss. Welcome back. Hey, introduce yourself, please.
Sure. I'm Deb Primmett. I'm the library director, and I am just delighted to be here this afternoon.
Deb, I want to thank you again. First of all, on behalf of myself, the veterans in the town, and our active duty people, and Liz Shea and Nancy Hurst, thank you and the library for, well, let me start off. When we first started this was the town employees. And next thing I heard is that these guys had a meeting and that you were going to donate it from the library. So your little fund. Tell me how that came about.
The Board of Library Trustees decided at a meeting several years ago, the first year of your initiative,
Right.
that a good use of library fines for a few weeks would be to support our local service people. So each year since then, the library trustees have voted to designate fines for usually a 4-week period in the fall, usually up to mid-October to mid-November, as fines for Soldiers' Weeks. And library fines that are collected during those weeks are donated to provide holiday gifts for our active duty service people. So it's a huge commitment from the Board of Library Trustees. Everybody feels very strongly that it's an important thing to do.
Can you introduce the library trustees? Who are they?
The library trustees, it's a 9-member board, and you're going to make me list all 9 of them, aren't you? Chairman is Henry DiCarlo, vice chair is Betty Henderson, secretary is Jake O'Neill, and then the other 6 members, in no particular order, are Will Adamsick, Laura Nuttall, Gail Bergen, Christina McMahon, and I'm going to forget somebody,
I know you
Kathy
will.
Jones. Kathy Jones, and I didn't prep this one. Who am I missing? Who did I miss? I missed
I-
a trustee. Jerry Haas.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, that's all of them, and they're a 9-member elected board.
And I promised him I wouldn't get him mixed into anything. But that's what the show is all about, and I'm sure if we forgot something, he'll understand. I want to, like I say again, I want to thank you all so very much, because the first year, we didn't know where the monies were coming from, and we only wanted money from the town employees. And when the money did come in, he put us over the top. That was our best year, our fundraiser, because we did have monies left over to start the following year. We did start off with 47 packages, and then I think we went from 47 to like 32, 33, then 24. And this year was only 10 packages, which is great. I mean,
That's
I hope
wonderful.
next year that I don't even have to ask the town employees to do it. But if there is one, like I make this one promise, if there is one of our people from Abington over there, we will make sure that man and woman is going to get it. Like I say again, I really want to thank you all. Is there anything you'd like to?
Yes, a couple of things. I did want to mention briefly our Teen Advisory Board. They're a new group for the library this year, which sprang from Federal Library Services and Technology Act grant. And the Teen Advisory Board is made up of teens roughly from grades 6 through 12. Right now we have about 24 kids who are active in the group. And one of the first things they wanted to do at one of their very early meetings last January or February was to do something for the soldiers. And Assistant Librarian Sandy Bumpus worked with the kids and coordinated with you and Liz Shea. And the kids did some shopping, and our teens did some lugging of things.
Right.
And we're hoping that some of the students will be here this afternoon. But I think it's important to mention that we really had a group of very committed teenagers who were determined that they wanted to do something to recognize Abington's active service people.
And I know Sandy's working very closely with them. Isn't she?
Yes, Sandy has worked very, very closely with them, and hopefully she and our new children's librarian, Lauren Budd, will be over this afternoon to help wrap for a bit, and hopefully some of the teens will be able to come. It's difficult to get teens after school sometimes, they have other commitments, but hopefully they'll be here. And also from the library community, the Board of Library Trustees, the staff, the Friends of the Library, the Teen Advisory Board, and all of the people who use the library, we just would like to wish a very happy holiday season to all of our service people, and that we all hope very much that you'll be able to be home and be using the library next year at this time. And thank you for the opportunity to chat.
I want to thank you so very much, and I really mean it when I say thank you. I mean, sometimes when you say thank you, thank you, thank you, when it comes to veterans or it comes to our active duty people, I'm very committed, and I've been like that most of the time in the military and afterwards, and I believe that we should never, never, never forget our active duty people. Veterans, we always come back, we're all strong, we get on with our lives, but it's the time that makes us stronger in the military is the support we get from the thing. I haven't said this yet, but all the interviews I've had, as most people know that I fought during the Korean War and Vietnam War. As we all know, computers, emails. I mean, when my son went to Iraq, he was emailing. When he went to Afghanistan, he was emailing. Letters. When Joey went to Iraq, I wrote him. I wrote the letters because I don't do emails and stuff like that. I wrote. When he went to Afghanistan, he seemed to appreciate it more because he used to go on a lot more missions than he did in Iraq. He really had a rough time in Afghanistan. He said, Dad, he says, when I come back off the mission, I've written you a letter. I know I could email you, and I know that once in a while you would get one of the girls to email me a thing there. But he said the letters is the most important. I'd lay down, and that's how we used to go to sleep, just reading the mail from him. So letters. Trying to send a letter to a soldier overseas, and you'd be surprised. It's great to have the texts and all that stuff. When I was in Korea, we lived off of emails. World War II, all the wars prior to it. And Billy, my producer, Vietnam vet, he said the same thing. We love those letters. And it makes me feel good when we put those cards in from the school children, and they write that little something. And you'd be surprised how many soldiers are gonna take that, put it in their jacket, and when they come back off from mission, just open it up. So, if you can, if you know somebody that's over there, write a letter. And you'll be surprised how much that is. Well, that makes us stronger too when we come back. So, as a veteran, we try to get along. But it's the active duty people that they build themselves, but we, as the folks back home, show them that support. And we appreciated it, believe me.
I actually brought some letters with me that the kids
Oh,
from the
great.
Teen Advisory Board had written to include in packages, and the no paper was created by younger children at the library last summer. So that was kind of exciting as a thank you, and I personally and on behalf of the library community would like to thank all of our Abington service people for their service.
And I want to thank you so very much, and God bless you, and have a happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for coming. Please introduce yourselves.
I am Sandy Bumpus. I'm Assistant Librarian in Children's Services at the Abington Public Library.
And I'm Lauren Budd, the new Children's Librarian at the Abington Public Library.
Okay, thank you for coming, and thank you for bringing the young ladies here. I said young ladies. Can you tell me what they are?
This is actually part of a group that we have at the library, the Teen Advisory Board. We have been a group for a little over a year and came out of an LSTA grant that we were awarded.
And what do you do?
We meet once a month. We work on projects and programs for our teens, as well as types of materials that they would like to have in the library. They have also been instrumental in doing family movies, chaperoning those, and what we will show. What else do we do? We have fun and we have pizza.
We're having fun today, and we're having pizza.
Yes, we are.
Sandy, I want to thank you very much for coming over and talking to me about it. And I know you worked great with Liz Shea and get this thing going here. Have you talked to the girls? How do they like? How do they like it? I mean, have they given you any feedback? I mean, you say this has been going on for about a year.
It's been going on for about a
The
year.
same amount start, still the same? Or
Oh,
do they
it's
drop
grown.
off? Grown.
We started with about 12 teens, and we are now up to anywhere between 25 and 27 teens
Wow.
who show up every month and are very dedicated. And we probably have another 5 who have conflicts, who are not, and I see some more coming, actually, to come help us. We have another 5 or so that stay involved but are not able to come because of scheduling conflicts.
Say my daughter would like to do it, or one of the girls would like to do it. How would they get involved? Who do they contact? How do they?
Either Lauren or myself or Mrs. Grimmett, who is the library director. We just ask for information on email and contact information, and we go from there. We do as much as we can via email because it's very simple. We meet once a month, the first Tuesday of the month from 5:30 till 6:30.
Now, say I'm going to do a project in town, a community project. It's going to involve in needing volunteers to do something. Would I come to you?
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, my project is that I'm going to be doing collections for the Wounded Warrior Program, which is helping the soldiers that are coming home. And it's going to be a thing. So I would come to you, explain to you what it's all about. You would bring it to the girls, and if the girls would like to do it.
Not
teens.
just girls, Joe. It's our teen advisory board, and it's half boys. However, yes, that's exactly right. You would bring the project to us, and we would see what we could do and what would meet the needs of both of the groups. Absolutely.
That is awesome. I wish you all the luck in the world and anything I can do. And I'm sure that when as you all know, how many projects I get into that concern veterans and our active duty personnel, I will be contacting you.
All right.
Great.
All right, what would you like to say to our soldiers that are over there? Because these tapes will be going to the boys and girls over there in Iraq and Afghanistan. What would you like to say to them?
Have happy holidays and come home safe.
Yeah, happy holidays, and lots of people here are thinking of you and hope to see you home soon.
And again, I want to thank you all so very much for coming.
Thank you,
And
Joe.
we'll
Thanks
be
for
in
having
touch.
us.
Thank you. Thank you, young ladies, for being here. Really appreciate your help in helping doing the packages for our men and women overseas. What's your name?
Maddie,
Maddie, where you from?
Abington,
Abington. And what school do you go to?
St. Bridget,
St. Bridget's? Your name?
Ira,
Yeah. Where do you live?
Abington,
What school do you go to?
Woodstown.
Okay. And did you guys do any cards for the first troops?
We're doing some at school, and then we did some in the teen advisory board.
Okay. Now, are you on the the teen advisory board? You're with the teens? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just the one with Sandy? Okay. How do you like it?
I like it a lot. It's really fun.
Do you? You like it too? Yeah. What are some of the things you've done so far?
Well, we've done like family movies and stuff, and then we had a Harry Potter sleepover at the library, and it was really fun.
Okay. And like again, I want to thank you girls for coming. Would you like to say something to the soldiers overseas?
Sure. I hope you
Look in
come
the
home
camera.
soon, and I hope that you stay safe.
Would you like to say something?
Thank you for having me with us.
I want to thank you so very much and thank you for helping.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for coming and thanks for helping. What's your name?
I'm Emma Sexton.
And where are you from, Abington?
Yes.
And what school do you go to?
St. Bridget's.
I can tell.
Yeah. I came
Give me your name, please.
I'm Kimberly Reed. I'm from Abington, and I go to Abington High.
You know that, and you are with the Teen Advisory Board. I'm going to get that right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's been about a year. Have you been on since it started?
Yes, I have been on the team that sports.
Do you like it?
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Is it? Can you tell me some of the things that you've done so far?
We've hosted movie nights at the library. We've done a bunch of other fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. We do a lot of stuff with like the little kids with like the movies, and we helped with the Abington summer program opening.
Oh, okay.
So that was
Great.
fun. Yeah.
Good. I talked to Sandy, and as you know, I'm the veterans agent for the town, and I do a lot with veterans and active duty people. So I'm hoping that on some of the projects that I do, that you get involved with it. Would you like to say something to the soldiers that are overseas?
We'll just have a Merry Christmas. We hope to see you soon.
I hope you guys come home safe. I'm sure you will. Thank you so much for serving our country and doing what you do every day.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, we have with us Dory Jameson, the Assistant Town Manager. Hi, Dory.
Hi, Joe.
Thanks for being here.
Oh,
Dory.
thanks for having me.
You
It's
know, we started this 5 years ago, and we're still going.
still going.
only-
Unbelievable.
The only good thing is about it is it's less and less packages.
Exactly, which
And
is
that-
great.
And that's great.
That's right.
Great. So how's everything going?
Everything's going great.
Great,
Yep.
great. I saw last night you were decorating the stairs out there.
Did the back? Yeah, the front staircase as you come up, so it looks festive. So for today, because today's the big day.
That's right, that's right. Dory, how does it make you feel, the 5 years we've been doing, remember when we first started? Is each year more, the words I'm trying to get now, is it more anguish that we're still over there, our men and women are still over there fighting?
Yeah, 5 years is such a long time, and it's hard. I can't even find the words to express my gratitude for the sacrifice that they're willing to make for us.
Yeah.
And especially this time of year, not to be home with your families. And they're all, most always in my thoughts and always in my prayers. And it's 5 years is a long time. I can't even imagine.
I know, but actually the war's been going on for 10, but it's been
Yeah,
5 years
for us.
Like I say, the only good thing we see is that the number of packages that we're being sent is a lot less.
And it's so great that you do that, and all the work that goes into it, that everybody does, the wrapping, the shopping, the packaging. It's, labor of love.
What do you think about these teen advisory board?
What about it?
What do you think about it?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. Isn't it great?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See these young girls.
It's Santa's workshop. Well, a bunch of little elves.
Yeah.
It's great. Everybody's willing to help.
Yeah, and she said
Just-
she started off with around 12, and now she's up to almost 30 kids.
Wow.
And they're very active in the community and stuff.
Yeah, excellent.
And I guess this is the first year they've been with us, and It's great.
It's wonderful. Oh, yeah, it's so great, and they're so happy to help.
You see when the young kids get involved.
Exactly. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
It really is.
Dory.
Warms your heart.
What would you like to say to our guys over there?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you just isn't enough, but just know from my heart how much I appreciate your extreme sacrifice. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
And what did the boss say, that when they come home, to come in and you got an open door, they can come
Always.
see you at any time?
Please do. Anytime. We'd love it.
Yeah, you got a twinkle in your eye. You like your band in uniform, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Welcome. Thank you for coming, and thanks for helping. Can I have your name, please?
Emily O'Neill,
Okay, and where you from, Emily?
Abington,
And what school do you go to?
St. Bridget's School.
St. Bridget's.
My name's Ashley Sullivan, and I'm from Abington as well. And I go to Frollo Middle School.
Florio? Oh, okay. We do the Memorial Day and Veterans Day with you
Right, I
guys.
saw you there, yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's great. And you guys are with the Teen Advisory Board?
Yeah.
Okay, do you like it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we've already had some of the girls on, and they seem to really enjoy it.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you do?
Well, we kind of help out, like decide, like kind of give them an idea of what teens want, like in the program at the library. So.
So you're doing things in the community and helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys really like it. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it, yeah.
And this has been going on for about a year. This is something new, right?
Yeah, it's pretty new. Yeah.
And I talked to your leader, Sandy, and I'm hoping they're going to be working with you guys during the year.
Yeah.
Okay? I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it would too.
All right. As you know, these tapes will be going to the soldiers that are fighting this war over there in Iraq. Would you like to say something to the boys?
Sure.
And girls.
Merry Christmas and come home safe.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Thank you so very much, and God bless you, and happy holidays to both
Thank
of
you
you.
very much. Thank you.
Welcome, and thanks for coming. Can you give me your name? Go ahead.
I'm Connor Bergen from Abington.
And what school do you go to?
I go to Holy Family in Rockland.
Okay.
Hi, I'm James O'Neill. I go to St. Bridget's in Abington, and I'm from Abington.
Oh, you're from Abington. Okay. Do you know Mrs. Johnson over the?
Yes.
She's my secretary. A nice lady, huh?
Yeah.
And you're with the Teen Advisory Board. I'm going to have to apologize because I thought it was all girls, but no, now I'm finding out it's boys, so I'm sorry, you know. So how do you like it? Basically, the girls seem to love it. It's been a year. And how do you guys like it? And what's a little something what you do?
Well, we organize how to spend the money for teens at the library, and yeah, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
We sometimes we buy magazines that we get
Take your time.
we get oh my gosh we get consent from the other kids, and
Okay.
we get magazines they like.
Yeah. So I talked to your advisor, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to work with you guys during the year. As you know, as the Veterans Aid in the town, I do a lot of ceremonies and I do a lot of things for veterans and the active duty people. So maybe you guys will help me out.
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming here and helping out making the packages for our soldiers that are overseas. Would you like to say something to our soldiers that are overseas now?
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you so very, very much for coming and helping out.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, Billy, another year gone by. This is our 5th year. And the good part of the whole thing is that it's less packages. It seems, we started off with 47, I think it was. Then we went to 32, 24, and down to 10. I think that's the best part of it. What do you think?
Yeah, hopefully next year there won't be that many.
Well, let's hope there won't be any, but no matter what, being you have committed ourselves with Liz and Nancy, that and the town employees, that even if it was one person, that will do it. Billy, again, I want to thank you so much. Over the years, we've done quite a bit. Kind of give the folks an update that we'll be starting our doing our cable show again just after the first of the year.
Yeah.
And we got some interesting things coming up. We're going to have try to get some of the public officials from the state that gives us the state benefits under Mass General Law, Chapter 115. We will have more veterans on and active duty people on this cutting back on the benefits and then, which is not entitlements of benefits that we have earned over the years and why it's being cut. So it's going to be an interesting year next year. And again, Billy, I want to thank you so much for all the work you do with me and what you do with the veterans in the town. So,
And tell you, the Teen Advisory Council here does a hell of a job.
yeah, I'm surprised. I actually thought it was all girls, and then when I saw the boys come in, that's great to have the teens from.
I think they got more in the advisory council than they have workers in the town hall.
But it's nice to see the teens in the town of Abington. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, and thank the. Nice to have the kids doing something
yeah.
like that in the town. Keep them off the streets, but that ain't the main. The main thing is
And you
that.
had at least 10 of them interviewed.
Yeah, it was good. Well, again, guys, over the years, we've done the best we could. We'll support you all the time. And when you do come home, please stop by to see me at the office. And God bless. Be careful. And I remain for the life of freedom. Joe Colantoni.
And stay safe and get back by next year so he can have an easier job.